Zoe. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I'm a member of the press corps. And tonight I'm here with Nikki Fried, Florida's 12th Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Sciences, and our BBG Alumna of the Year. Thank you so much for being here, Nikki.
Of course, this is so exciting.
So I prepared a few questions. So to begin, I want to know, how has it been growing up being surrounded by a diverse Florida ecosystem inspired your passion for agricultural activism?
So it's interesting. So the position inside of Florida is Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services. So it's both agriculture, but also we oversee all types of fraud for consumers, and we have an Office of Energy. And so I've always just had a passion for giving back to our state and giving back to the people, and is one of the members of our cabinet. So there's 4 of us that are part of the cabinet, which is the governor, the chief financial officer, the attorney general, and the commissioner of agriculture. And so I decided to run in 2018, first time I ever ran for office, and ran statewide for Florida, which is a huge undertaking. About 8 million people vote in an election. I actually had 3 recounts and ended up winning after 8.2 million Floridians voted by 6,753 votes. So it was a very long 2 weeks of recounts, but my passion, I first was involved with as an attorney and an advocate for children and for public education, and also for the expansion of medical marijuana here in the state of Florida.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing. Next, I want to know, what types of opportunities has being one of the first women student body presidents at University of Florida given you?
Well, I'm here. So I was student body president at the University of Florida in 2002, 2003, only the second elected female. And so the doors that were opened, the people that I met on campus, and the relationships that I still have today in leadership, a lot of people that I went to school with are still involved in some type of government, whether elected officials or government consultants. And so those relationships that I met at UF are with me here today. And so certainly being a student body president at UF gave me the opportunity to see government up close and personal, and then decide to eventually run for office.
That is such an incredible experience. Next, considering the political climate in today's world, I know you mentioned earlier that you work a lot with children. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that it's important for all parties to come together to prioritize the safety of children?
Without a doubt. And that's unfortunately what's happened, and I'm so sorry for your generation to be seeing so much of the divisiveness of our government and politics. But there's some things that you have to kind of put aside, the partisan differences. As the only statewide elected Democrat in Florida, the rest of the cabinet are all Republicans, the governor's Republican, the Senate, the House. And so we need to be putting aside partisan differences to come together for things like protecting our kids, for things like protecting our environment, things that should never be partisan. If you are truly going to be a public servant, sometimes those partisan differences need to go to the side so you can pass some good policies.
Totally, I completely agree. Mm-hmm. Next, do you have any singular memory from your time at BBYO that created a significant impact on your life?
Oh, everything. Let's see. It was, I think, probably some of the most fond memories when I was NACIA of Greater Miami. We started a soup kitchen down in Miami, and so every Saturday night, actually, I was not NACIA then. I was Siganit of the council at that point. But we came every single Saturday and would go and drive around Miami, picking up extra food, and then the next morning, the entire board would go down to downtown Miami and start a soup kitchen. And we put together breakfasts and lunches and got to talk to a lot of the people that needed help. And truly, that is part of what I do every single day as Commissioner of Agriculture. I help feed the people of our state and our country, and quite honestly, the world. We feed about 150 million people across the country from the agriculture industry of Florida. So my time at BBYO and the lessons that I learned there and giving back really has helped me get to where I am today.
That's wonderful. Okay, my final question is for all the Jewish teens in the world. What advice do you have to offer for the future of the Jewish community?
This question is actually pretty personal, because in a time like today, where we're unfortunately seeing the rise of anti-Semitism all over our country, it is even more important that we, as the Jewish community, especially the Jewish youth, understand their role And I've said this before, I went to the March of the Living in 1994, and I saw what hatred can do and what happens when people are silent. And so it's upon all of us, when we see those injustices, when we see the hatred, when we see the anti-Semitism, we got to stand up. We got to fight, and we got to make sure that we're educating, because most of the times it's a lack of education and lack of knowledge. And so being able to have been to the march and going to the camps and seeing firsthand and bearing witness to what happened to the atrocities in Germany and in Poland, it teaches us that we have an obligation. And it's not just about the Jewish community. When you're seeing an injustice, whether it's with the LGBTQ community, whether it is our Black neighbors and Muslim neighbors, that we have an obligation to protect and to march and to be a voice of reasoning and passion and love. And so for those who are watching, the baton is passed to you. We are counting on you to stand up and to make sure that if there is anti-Semitism or there is any hatred of your peers or people that you are knowing in your community, stand up. Stand up and make sure that your voice is heard, and make sure that you are united behind that, and don't ever back down, because if they back down, you back down, they win. And that is a lesson that you have to take with you and make sure that it's in your heart and your passion, because we cannot live in a society that teaches hatred.
Thank you so much. It's truly incredible having you here, and that piece of advice was wonderful. I know I'll truly take that to heart, and I hope all my fellow Jewish peers take that into account too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.